Have you ever looked at a drop of water and wondered, what if this isn't just H2O? Many scholars and scientists across cultures and centuries, Masaru Emoto, Victor Schauberger, even Nikola Tesla in his cryptic way, have hinted at a truth too deep for a test tube. That water is memory. That within this transparent elixir lies the recording device of the universe itself. Water, they say, doesn't just carry minerals, it carries intention, vibration, and consciousness. Think about that for a moment. Water holds memory. Water holds consciousness. That means every drop you drink remembers. But here's the crisis no one dares to put on the evening news. We are poisoning the hard drive of humanity. Municipal water in modern cities is saturated with fluoride, chlorine, pharmaceutical residues, and industrial pollutants, chemical codes that corrupt the memory of water. And if water stores thought, then what kind of thoughts are we programming into ourselves, our children, and even the earth? In many areas, groundwater, once pure, is now tainted by pesticides, fracking waste, and heavy metals. In times of political turmoil, wars, or natural disasters, the water supply isn't just polluted, it's cut off. No water flowing from the tap, no bottled water on shelves, no help coming. Now, imagine the irony of a flood, a deluge of muddy, swirling water, yet none of it is safe to drink. Because floods rip open sewers, drag carcasses and debris into rivers, rupture water mains, and contaminate everything they touch. And in those moments, survival no longer depends on food, Wi-Fi, or money. It depends on access to clean water. But here's the twist that brings hope. When we reclaim the purity of water, we don't just survive, we awaken. You see, sacred water, with high vibrational structure, aligns with our consciousness. It enhances lucid dreams. It heals not only the body, but the mind. It sharpens intuition, elevates thoughts, and can even reprogram trauma if you know how to work with it. This isn't mysticism. It's physics we haven't dared to fully explore, yet. Imagine a world where every home, no matter how remote, creates its own clean water from the air. Yes, from the air. Atmospheric water generation, AWG, isn't science fiction. It's happening now. And the best part? If designed right, this water can be structured, energized, and pure. Far cleaner than what flows from your city tap. And when integrated with natural farming, home-scale energy generators, and an off-grid lifestyle, we start to build what no government can offer: true sovereignty. This is not about going back to primitive living. This is about going forward, using advanced technology that aligns with nature and respects consciousness. When you have your own water, you're no longer controlled by the grid. You no longer wait in line for aid. You become the guardian of your own memory, your own consciousness, your own freedom. Because let's be real, no one can truly think clearly, dream freely, or awaken spiritually when they're drinking from a poisoned stream. Let us begin, not with panic, but with perspective. We're not here to sell you fear. We're here to spark the greatest revolution of our time, a revolution of clean water, free thought, and awakened living. Air Fountain warmly welcomes you to this journey. Water is freedom. It's not just the stuff that quenches your thirst or makes your coffee taste half decent. It's the fundamental prerequisite for consciousness, for life, and, yes, for liberty. Without water, there is no breath, no brain, no birth. There is no you. That's why water in its purest form is not a luxury. It's a form of sovereignty. Now let me tell you something that most textbooks won't dare to whisper. Water and ether are twins, cosmic siblings. One is the fluid of the earth, the other of the cosmos. And when these two meet, they give rise to something extraordinary: consciousness. Your very awareness is not a glitch of neurons, but a dance of structured water and subtle energy fields. The ancients knew it. Keeley hinted at it. Schauberger felt it. And you're beginning to remember it. So when you hold water, you're not just holding survival, you're holding self-determination. But let's zoom back into the here and now. The tap in your home could stop flowing tomorrow. A cyber attack on infrastructure, a political shift, a market panic, or maybe just a heavy flood. You'll go to the store, and the shelves will be empty faster than you can say liberté. And in that moment, your philosophical beliefs won't matter. Your preparedness will. That's why storing water isn't paranoia, it's preparation for freedom. Let's define libertarianism again, not in the caricature of selfish chaos, but in its sacred sense. the divine right to take responsibility for one's life. True libertarianism is when your survival no longer hinges on the decisions of distant bureaucrats or supply chains you'll never see. It's when your future is shaped not by algorithms, but by your will. And that journey, believe it or not, begins with something as humble as a water brick. Yes, a water brick. Stackable, sealable, and more beautiful than any Instagrammable motivational quote, the water brick is the declaration of independence you didn't know you needed. Alongside it, storing commercially bottled water, or even filling up cleaned-out 2-liter soda bottles with tap water, pre-treated and rotated, becomes your quiet revolution. Because when disaster hits, the chaos won't be in the fire or flood. It'll be in the look of unprepared panic in the eyes of people who relied too long on the system. You'll be ready, with 84 gallons stored for a week of family survival. Or maybe more, because you've gone beyond survival. You're building a network of resilience. And more importantly, you're restoring the principle that destiny is authored by willpower, not circumstance. Think about it. In a service economy, your life is queued up, always waiting. For food delivery, for healthcare, for water, for permission. But when you have your own clean water, your own food, your own energy, you've left the queue. You've exited the waiting room of history and entered the realm of agency. You've become dangerous to those who profit off your dependence. This isn't about being paranoid. It's about being sovereign. You are the CEO of your own ecosystem. Storing water isn't the end goal. It's the first domino in a chain reaction that leads to self-sufficiency, spiritual clarity, and eventually, societal transformation. Because a self-sufficient society isn't a fantasy. It's a natural consequence of millions of people remembering their power. And it starts when we stop outsourcing our most essential needs, like water. If this resonates with you, if you feel even a spark of awakening stirring within, then do something revolutionary right now. Like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Air Fountain. The journey to freedom is just getting started. Water doesn't just reflect your face, it reflects your fate. If that sounds poetic, it's because it is. But it's also physics, philosophy, and survival rolled into one single truth. Wherever clean water flows, freedom follows. We've already explored the sacred connection between water and ether, those twin forces of consciousness and creation. But let's go a step deeper. In the absence of structured water, the human mind dulls, dreams fade, and the will weakens. That's not a metaphor. That's a neurological, biochemical, spiritual reality. Structured water resonates with higher frequencies. It aligns with intention. It listens. It remembers. Now picture this. The grid goes down. The floodwaters rise. Your storage is dwindling. The system so robust on paper has failed. What do? You look around. And that's when the real test begins, not just of survival, but of sovereignty. Because in that moment, the ability to identify and collect alternative water sources becomes the line between independence and desperation. You become the source finder, the alchemist of the age of chaos. Let's talk about what that actually looks like. First stop, your water heater. You may not have realized it, but tucked away in a closet or garage is a 40 to 50 gallon treasure chest. It's clean, ready, as long as your tank is in good shape, and often overlooked in emergencies. All it takes is opening the valve at the bottom, and boom, your lifeline flows. Then there's rainwater. The sky is not just weather, it's a delivery system. A rain barrel placed strategically can harvest gallons of liquid gold. But here's the catch. That gold must be refined. The rooftop it slides off might be coated in industrial grime, bird droppings, and particles you don't want in your bloodstream. Still, this method, when filtered and purified properly, can sustain you longer than most people imagine. Natural bodies of water, streams, ponds, lakes, are powerful allies, but also deceptive. They might look clean, but a single microscopic organism can hijack your gut and sabotage your freedom. So yes, collect, but never consume without purification. This isn't just about water. It's a parable for society. You see, in a service-based economy, everything is handed to you until it isn't. And when that curtain drops, those who've always depended on the provider realize they were never free. They were leased out, rented, controlled by systems dressed as convenience. True libertarianism, in its sacred definition, is not chaos or selfishness. It's conscious independence. It's the choice to reclaim your instincts, your knowledge, your ability to provide for yourself. To find water in unexpected places is to say, I do not fear collapse because I understand nature. I do not panic because I have practiced. I do not beg because I know where to look. Take the story of Old Man Ben from Tennessee, 72 years old when the big storm of 2010 hit. Electricity down, stores empty, FEMA nowhere in sight. But Ben, he cracked open his hot water tank, harvested the rainwater from his old shed's metal roof, boiled it over a cast iron stove he hadn't used since the 80s. When neighbors were panicking, Ben was handing out filtered water in mason jars. They called him crazy before. After that week, they called him wise. And here's the beauty. What Ben did wasn't magic. It wasn't even expensive. It was mindset. It was training. It was freedom, earned and exercised. You too have that potential. You can spot the glint of water where others see mud. You can map your neighborhood by hidden sources, rooftops, tanks, gutters, springs. You can become the village well in times of collapse, but only if you learn now. Let us reframe the narrative. Collecting alternative water is not an emergency tactic. It's a foundational human right. And like all rights, it requires responsibility. And while others wait for aid, you act. While they doubt, you prepare. Because you understand something the economy of convenience has tried to make us forget. Your fate is your own. And when you walk out into the rain with a barrel and a plan, you're not just harvesting water, you're harvesting sovereignty. Now is the time to explore your local environment with new eyes. Think like a water seeker. Move like a sovereign. And above all, remember that true freedom flows with every drop you reclaim. Now, let's complete the circle. You've remembered the truth about water and freedom. You've stored it like a quiet revolutionary. You've located it in the most unexpected places. But all of that leads to the final rite of passage, the act of purification. Because survival isn't about just finding water, it's about transforming it, turning chaos into clarity. And in that sense, purifying water becomes a sacred metaphor for everything we're doing here. You take something cloudy, possibly dangerous, just like the systems we inherited, and through fire, filtration, or light, you make it safe. You make it yours. Let's break it down with the practicality of a field warrior and the insight of a philosopher. Boiling? It's ancient and reliable. With a pot and a flame, you vaporize threats. Bacteria, viruses, protozoa, gone. But make sure you bring it to a rolling boil for at least 1 minute. And don't worry if it tastes a little flat afterwards. Just pour it between clean containers to bring back the breath of life. Even water likes to breathe. Bleach? Sounds harsh, but done right, it's life-saving. FEMA recommends 16 drops per gallon for suspect water. Wait 30 minutes. If it doesn't smell faintly of bleach, repeat. Still nothing? Toss it. The water is lying to you. You want water that speaks truth, or you find another spring. Tablets, iodine, or chlorine dioxide work fast and travel light. Just remember, if you're allergic to iodine, keep your distance. This isn't the time for immune roulette. Filters? This is where science meets adventure. LifeStraw, Sawyer, Berkey, these tools are the swords of the modern water samurai. They cut through the grime and let purity flow. A filter in your go bag is worth more than gold in a blackout. And UV light, that's the magic wand of the 21st century. Steripens zap the bad stuff in seconds. But remember, even light works best in clarity, so pre-filter first. Let the light dance in clear water. Let it purify, like truth shining through shadow. Each of these methods is a ritual of responsibility. And just like with knowledge, you don't want to rely on only one source. Have backups. Mix and match. Know your tools like you know your instincts. Because here's the truth. Water purification isn't just a survival skill. It's a lifestyle. It's the act of choosing consciousness over complacency, of choosing action over addiction to comfort, of looking at a muddy puddle and seeing not despair, but potential. We are no longer passive recipients of contaminated systems. We are the builders of the new. And remember, when you have clean water, you have clarity. When you have clarity, you make better decisions. And when you make better decisions, you change the course of your life. That's not exaggeration. That's the ripple effect. The butterfly flaps its wings in your kettle, and somewhere down the line, a generation awakens. So purify your water like it matters, because it does. This has been a journey through flood, fear, and fire, back into your power. A return to sacred logic, ancient knowledge, and radical self-reliance. And it's only the beginning. Whether you're living off-grid, prepping for the unexpected, or simply refusing to let your family drink from poisoned pipes, you are part of a movement. A quiet rebellion. A great remembering. Air Fountain is honored to walk this path with you. Until next time, stay curious, stay sovereign, and never stop filtering the world through the clarity of your own awakened mind. We'll see you in the next drop.